well today. Great to see the turnout that we had. I mean, just a tremendous amount of interest in our guys and our program, and had a great meeting with everyone this morning, the coaches and scouts and GMs and several of the head coaches. But thought our guys competed well, and now we'll move on. I guess they'll move on to the next phase, which will be some private individual workouts and then the draft. I think several of these guys are going to have opportunity to hear their name called in May.
What about Kevin Dodd's story? A year ago, you weren't even sure if he would be a draftable kind of player, and now these people were here talking first rounder for him. How he improved his draft stock?
I think this time last year I felt like he'd be draftable. I didn't know that he would be a first round type of draftable guy because we just hadn't seen that production yet. But he's a great story, and then Shaq, I think it speaks to the development of our young men, the culture of our program. Marion Hobby, there's nobody better in developing those defensive ends than Big Marion. I mean, you just look at Tavares made it last year, Corey made it last year, Vic made it last year. Now you got Dodd and Shaq coming out. He's coached Malachi, he's coached so many of these guys. He's just been tremendous. So, but we've had a little bit of everything. We've had guys like Shaq who kind of came in here, and he was as advertised. And then we've had guys like Vic Beasley that was a running back, or a guy like Kevin Dodd who, really had a long way to go. But you got to give those young men the credit because they bought in and put the work in. Kevin is a great story. Just makes your heart feel good. And then the fact that he stayed in school so that he could graduate this May. I think that speaks volumes to just how he thinks.
How close down feel ready?
He's as ready as you can get. He's 5 years removed from high school. He went to prep school. He's been challenged on this practice field. He's played at the highest level, and he's played well on the biggest stages. So he's definitely ready for the next step.
Do you think that the run that this team made last year, with all these guys in the spotlight in such huge games, gives them a leg up on a lot of the other guys in this draft?
I definitely in just the aspect that they've got good film. They played well. This is a game of performance, not potential. I say that all the time, and so there's a lot of good tape, and they've consistently played well. This is the winningest senior class in the history of the school. These guys that are coming out this year in this class have been incredibly successful. 3 out of the last 4 years finishing in the top 10, so that's certainly helps. There's no question, and so that's why all these guys are here. You don't beat the type of people that we've beaten without having good players. So it all goes hand in hand.
About the hand-in-hand thing, too, with the success you guys have had, and then when you put these guys in the pros and don't just go there but succeed, does that in turn kind of help your recruiting? You guys see what you're doing?
Yeah, well, absolutely. That's something that I keep up with. Since I've been the head coach, we've had 71 guys get a shot in the draft and free agent, and 53 have made the roster. That's 75%. That's and you're talking, because only 1.6% of college players play in the NFL. So absolutely, it's something that's important to all these guys. They all want to have opportunities to play at the next level, and so we keep up with that. But our guys are graduating. And I think they're sticking because of the culture that they're coming from. You see, everybody knows Sammy Watkins is going to go, and Vic, but Adam Humphries goes and is a free agent and ends up catching 35 or 40 balls as a rookie for the Bucks. Starts his first ever NFL game. Those are the things that people don't see. Deshaun Williams making, Tavares Barnes. And I think they're sticking again just because of how we handle our business here and the overall development of them outside of the football field.
Have people told you run your program kind of like, I know you have time constraints and that, but is it sort of a pro type of program that you run in terms of scheduling and meetings and that kind of thing?
Well, I've never been in the pros, so it'd be hard for me to answer that, but I know, we have a very systematic approach as far as how we do things. We're very organized. We have a 20-hour rule here, so we have to operate within that. So we're very structured. We're very efficient with our time. We maximize our time. We have a daily focus, and we don't really vary from that. And our guys have bought into that. So as far as the pros, it's probably a little different. But structurally, as far as how we value the time that we have and the efficiency of it, that part's probably similar.
Dabo, why won't the size and stature of McKenzie hold him back at the next level?
I mean, just turn the tape on. He plays 6'5". So same reason it didn't hold Russell Wilson back. He's just a great player. He's a great player. And when you get between the lines, you don't know all that stuff that people like to talk about. It becomes performance, and he's covered everybody. He's been just on our practice field. He's had some great ones right here, and I've seen it day in and day out here. I've seen it on game day. Hardly anybody throws at him, and he's just a strong, physical guy. He's not 6 feet tall, but he plays it. At the end of the day, that's what it's about, is how you play, not how you look.
People make too much out of the fact he didn't get interception.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Didn't have many opportunities. Not many people throwing at him.
Was Kevin showing flashes?
And he only played 2 years.
Was Kevin showing flashes of what he could be in practice a year ago?
Yeah.
But behind just
we had 6 D linemen leave last year. 5 of them made it in the NFL, and everybody was like, "Well, what are you going to do?" This and that. I'm like, "Well, we'll be all right." We felt like Kevin Dodd was ready, and we knew Shaq was ready. The big question for me last year was, could we keep them healthy? Because it was such a drop off. Because it was Kevin and Shaq, and then all freshmen. I think all of us as coaches were very confident in his ability to go and win at a high level for us. But man, he played, maybe even above what anybody thought. I felt like he would be back. He would have come back another year, but he went and earned this opportunity.
Was his? I imagine his age was a factor. Because y'all recruited him a long time ago.
As far as him coming out?
Yeah.
No, the factor was where he's going to be drafted. What difference does it matter if you're 25 or 26? That doesn't really matter. It was just really more his performance, or 23 or 4, whatever it is. But I think he was probably leaning toward coming back. He got a 2nd-round grade, and but then he goes and dominates in the national championship game. I think that changed things, and rightfully so.
How have you been able to keep it rolling on the D-line? Those freshmen you were talking about, they got to play some this year. They'll be ready to go next year.
They recruited, just like any other good program. If you're going to have a consistent program, you got to evaluate and recruit at a high level. You got to develop your guys, and then you got to have great coaches. I think we've done a good job in all those areas. So, just like this year, we're going to be really good on defense this year. Nobody really knows who Austin Bryant is and Cleveland Ferrell, but they will, and they'll all be back here to see them in a few years. So there's no secret. The lifeline of any college program is recruiting.
Is that? You guys always had pretty good skill players. Is that when this program kind of took that lead? Got those guys along the line as well?
I think the line of scrimmage, ultimately is where games are won and lost. And we've done a good job of really transitioning there, at least over my 7 years here as the head coach, and trying to make sure that not just get those guys in here, but develop them and practice the right way, so that we're ready to compete on game day.
I've been something with Mike Williams also. How big did that offensive benefit health-wise?
Well, we were the only team in the country that threw for over 4,000 and rushed for over 3,000.
Yeah.
So, maybe we'd have thrown for 4,500. But I don't know. But we had a great year, and 11 straight games that we've had now, 500 plus yards. I'm proud of how the guys filled in and picked up the slack. But it sure is good to have.
How scared were you when you saw him down there?
Well, at the time, not that scared because I think they were taking great precautions and he was moving and all that, just fine. But then when I found out, I was like, oh, what have you done? I was like, oh man, he's great. He's great. He's having a great spring.
Take him back as slowly as possible.
Yeah, he's doing everything. We're just not tackling him to the ground, but yeah, he's doing well. He's doing well.
Coach,
he can play a game a day if we need to.
Which one of your linemen are the Falcons going to take this year?
I don't know. I'll be glad if any of them get an opportunity to go there.
They need one more to fill out.
Yeah, that's right. We got 3 there. That'd be great with me.
And just real quick on Kevin, I heard a little bit at the beginning about his prep school guy, slow developer. What does he bring, or what's he taking with him from the program to the next level?
Well, he's a complete player now. This is a guy that he really had no football foundation when he got here. He had so much to learn. He had the tools, but just really a long way to go. And to give him the credit because he put the work in and worked on his weaknesses and things like that. But he's bringing size and athleticism. He's a great pass rusher. He really is a smart player. He's been well coached, and I think he brings everything. I really do. I think he's an every down guy. He can play the run. He can play the pass, and he brings high character.
Thanks, Coach.
Would the draft be one of the more unlikely first-round stories you've ever come across?
I think Vic's pretty unlikely. Vic was a running back. Vic didn't ever start a game here till his 4th year, redshirt junior, and had never played D-line a snap in his life till his 3rd year here. So that was pretty unusual there too. Dodd, at least he played the position in high school, but maybe just the transformation and the development of him. That's a pretty neat thing.
How much imagination do you guys have to have sometimes to project what they'll be?
That's what the magic is. So many people get caught up in the stars and this and that. If we went by what the internet says, Kevin Dodd wouldn't be here. Adam Humphries wouldn't be here. They're not sexy enough recruits. Or you're only taking them. The Ryan Carters wouldn't be here.
And Kevin just hadn't played football.
He just about a year and a half, and Brad Scott came to me and he said, "Listen, Coach, don't even watch the tape because he's not a very good player. Don't even watch it." He goes, "Man, he's 6'1". He's athletic, he can run, he's a maybe guy. His grades aren't very good, but maybe we put him in prep. Let's just see if he wants it." So we put him in prep school. And he came in here and he ends up redshirting. And then we got a bunch of guys that are just better football players at the time. And he just went to work and bought in. And what Joey Batson did with him in the weight room, just his maturity as a person, it's just been fun to watch it happen.
Was he one of those guys you watch him play basketball to see how he moved or anything like that?
No, I didn't watch him do anything. I didn't even know who he was until literally when I met him, and that was the kind of conversation I had with Brad Scott. And he was just a guy that I knew wasn't going to come in with the class, and I was like, well, let's just see if this kid wants it. Let's put him out, and we'll see if he wants to do what he needs to do. And he went up to the prep school, did a nice job, and then he came in here and just was kind of fish out of water. Had a lot to learn. Brent Venables, I'll never forget it. Brent's first spring here, we were in a personnel meeting, and he didn't know anybody, and we were talking about our future. We're talking about recruiting and things, and I was like, well, we got this guy, and we got Dodd, and he's like, Kevin Dodd, he'll never play here. Coach, we can't win with that guy. And I'm like, yeah, he'll be all right, because he was so far away from being a good player. And so, it's fun to see guys put it all together and get back.